I have to write this. Tomorrow is the birthday where I become a legal adult, and I feel like a failure. Up, all the way up. Now only bend your elbows all the way down to your head. I've been working out at LA Fitness with my aunt and my grandma for like 6 months now. And before the AT, we did a family workout and we wanted to start that back up again. We wanted to do it a while ago, but there is some things that got in the way. So that's what we're doing. We're starting it up finally.
Oh man, dude, that kicked my butt. I haven't been working out for months and months and months since before the AT, but it also felt good. I also felt like I was gonna pass out. I think I need to eat something beforehand, but Dove is really good at leading it, so that's cool to watch. You ready for some breakfast? Me too. Rainier, Mama said no. Go on. You want this one? Alright. Not right now, sweetie.
And what is that yucky stuff?
That's not yucky stuff. That's the coffee grounds. Keep on pushing. This is actually the first time vlogging in a week. We took the entire last week off and didn't plan it and didn't tell you about it. In the last 24 hours, we have had 2 meetings with people where we went over the first half of our book about our adventure on the Appalachian Trail. We have our second half here ready to go that now we gave to people again to get feedback.
They have a week to read it, right?
Yeah. It was kind of scary giving the book out to people. I think I'm less concerned about what they think about my work, and more I just feel bad like asking someone to read an entire book that's not even that good yet, just as a favor. I mean, who reads a whole book anymore, much less just as a favor? And this is like a full-size book.
Yeah.
But in my meeting this morning, my guys that I meet with every Monday were sharing that it actually, me giving them the book actually really helped them with their goals and feel inspired about their writings. So that was kind of cool. But already, like, just some of the little feedback we've gotten, I think is gonna make like a huge change in the book. Like Tim said that he thinks we can go like a little bit deeper and offer a few sentences of why we do things or how it translates back home. And I was like, once he said that, I started making that change all over the place, and now I'm like so glad that we are doing that.
Rainier, last night, someone we were meeting with, she had a lot of good things to say, to the point where I'm like, you should be a writer because you're really good at this. But I feel really grateful for all this feedback. It feels actually really good to not be alone in this.
Yeah. It's moving forward though. We're getting there. We'll keep you guys updated.
You go.
But today is a kind of a big day in parent land. But this is our last day of parenting that we have without having a legal adult.
Right, that's one way to put it.
I thought maybe a place to start is just by telling the story of how we became parents and how the heck we got to this point. I mean, I think they know how, you know. We got married when we were 20 and we were pregnant like that. Not like super on purpose, but not like super on accident.
We weren't like, go raw, let's have kids. Kids are amazing. But we also weren't like, go raw, let's be on birth control.
Because making money and achieving personal goals is amazing. All the reasons people gave for not having kids, like that didn't really make sense to me.
Yeah.
And I remember when we found out we were pregnant, just like crying. And we were so young, we had no idea. I mean, right away we were on like welfare or like whatever government assistance is for being pregnant, like getting free cheese and milk. That was awesome.
And cereal.
And then we had Dove, and we were, before our first year, like our first wedding anniversary, I remember you were pregnant and I was playing ping pong at bars and you couldn't even come into the bar.
Yeah, I was.
Because you weren't 21 yet.
Visibly pregnant.
Not now.
But couldn't come into a bar.
Like, I guess the thing that is important to me is how much has changed since then, and how I'm so glad we didn't listen to people back then, like our peer group, who was saying, oh, you need to have more money, or prioritize the things that are fun, or like freedom, because having Dove and other kids is like the single most rewarding and best decision I feel like I was ever a part of. And now that she's 18, it's like, I guess technically our responsibility is like done. Is that how that's supposed to go? Like, none of this feels any different to us.
That's what's so weird in our culture. Like, nothing feels official. It's just she turns 18.
We're not like kicking her out or making her pay rent. Our big like transition to adulthood, we celebrated when they turned 13.
Yeah.
And that's when we started giving them more responsibility and trusting them more and letting them make their own decisions. And we did that with all of our kids.
Yeah, it's not like overnight, like tomorrow we're gonna be treating her differently all of a sudden.
No.
I think we'll be treating her much the same, which is letting her make decisions on her own. But if she wants help, we'll help her. Yeah, we're not having her pay rent right now or tomorrow. I don't really know how that's gonna go. We're just kind of taking it 1 year at a time.
But I just think, you know, I hear from a lot of our viewers that are like, they have a lot of small kids and the kids are difficult. Whatever your life is now, if you're open to change, then your life is guaranteed not to be the same in 10 years from now.
It's been really cool seeing my relationship with Dove evolve in the last few years. I can really see how she's becoming an adult, where I'm relating to her way more as an adult. Even just how we joke around and how I ask her for feedback about something is more like a peer than it's ever been. And that's been a cool transition to see. My respect for her has grown in a different way, seeing her become an adult. From, I respected her as a little kid, but it was different. And now I can just see that she's got a lot of adult decisions to make and trying to navigate this world as an adult. And I've just grown in respect just watching her do that.
But it's a young adult.
Yeah. What's funny is when you have a 2-year-old, it's helpful to remind yourself, okay, my kid's 2. Like, reality check, they're not going to act like me, not to put these like crazy expectations on them, or you're just going to be super frustrated and probably not like your kid. It's actually no different with your 18-year-old. I have found myself needing to tell myself, oh, actually it's really cool what she's going through. she's learning, she's growing, she's in a stage where she can just experiment a ton, and there's not this like heavy-handedness that we feel where there's actually a ton at stake. For her, she can like blow off a job, socialize like crazy, and learn from that, which is funny. I mean, even as I'm saying that, I'm like, well, that's not okay, but I think it is, and that's what I've been kind of learning. It's funny how it doesn't change, actually, that same principle or how you look at your kid, it doesn't change from 2 to 18. You still kind of need to say, like, remind yourself like where they're at in life.
I just wonder sometimes if I'm like fucking up as a dad by like not being closer. I don't even like really know how to do that. I feel like I was like closer to them when they're like small, like all the kids, and then they get like bigger and I'm like, you're a teenager.
And then they actually want some space too, and it's hard to know how much space do they actually want.
I go like way in that mode where I'm like, fine, you want space? Great, no problem. Like, have all the space you want. I forget that I don't think they always want space either. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you know.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to know. But.
So my strategy with that is just to be prepared to apologize when they come to us, hopefully, and say, hey, we're hurt by this. And I can be like, is there anything I can do to make it right or to help our relationship move forward from here? Because I'm sorry, we didn't do it intentionally. Mm-hmm. I guess.
I read this quote today that went something like this: are toddlers easier or harder than teenagers, or teenagers harder and easier than toddlers? And it's actually, they're not harder or easier, they're just different. And I thought that was actually really good, because that has been my experience. It's not easier, sorry. But it's also not harder. It's just different. I mean, can't say it any other way than that quote did. That makes sense, because you're dealing with another human being, and relationships are always difficult no matter the age of the person, your child. So
tomorrow we'll wake up and we'll have an adult child legally.
Memory asked me yesterday, so when Dove turns 18, are you guys gonna kick her out? And I was like, no, I'm not gonna kick her out. I guess I can't speak for your dad, but no, I'm not gonna kick her out.
I wouldn't kick her out because she turns 18.
And you wouldn't say, I'm kicking you out. You'd say, you're making certain choices.
And she keeps on having sleepovers above my head that keep me up at 2 a.m. Then yeah, this is feels like a big transition, I guess. I don't know. It's just a benchmark. That's the other thing, is like, in a way, nothing changes, but it feels like everything changes. It's just one of those moments, I guess. You just stop and you look and you're like, feel old, but I don't feel old.
Yep.
All right, time for dinner. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Dove's 18th birthday. Jeez.
So technically we signed off on the vlog for today, but then my dad read this Instagram post that I just put out and he wanted me to talk about it. So I'm gonna start by reading it. It says, I have to write this. Tomorrow is the birthday where I become a legal adult and I feel like a failure. There's a bunch of personal reasons I can think of why I feel this way, but I actually think it's not just personal. I think a lot of people feel this way for most of their lives. I keep thinking that maybe if I took the normal route and studied for some tests to get into a college, I'll feel like I've made it. And maybe I will, or maybe I'll just keep looking for the next thing to make me feel on top of my game. I don't really know. All I know is it kind of sucks feeling this way, but I want anyone else who might who might also be feeling this way or anything close to this to not feel alone. I'm here too. Woohoo. Part of the reason I actually wrote this was my dad asked me the other day how I feel like turning 18 or what I feel like.
Can you tuck this up for me?
If you bring me a knife. And I said, I kind of feel like a failure. Like I said, I have personal reasons, which is I don't have like a diploma or any sign of graduation. I don't even have my driver's license yet. That should be by the end of this month. And there's just no way or marking to tell me like how good I'm doing is what it boils down to, which I recognize is not like accurate to like being a failure or not a failure. Is just how you're scored and tested, but it's just how I feel. A lot of my friends and like everyone I know is in some type of school system where they know how good they're doing and I just don't. I can see some benefits to that, and just like I think it's good to not have an artificial sense of moving up in the world, but it just feels crappy sometimes, a lot of the times. Just putting that post out there, I kind of knew people's reactions would be like, what, you've hiked the Appalachian Trail, you've ran marathons, you've blah blah blah. It's good to hear, and I mean I know those are hard things, and but I kind of want people to know like, yeah, so I've done these really hard things and I still feel like a failure. So if anyone else just feels that way, I don't want them to feel like alone. That's really what I wanted people to hear, is like, because I think a lot of people put us up on pedestals and think that we're just ultra everything, ultra productive, ultra on top of everything, blah blah blah. So I just wanted to be like, no, at least I don't feel like I am. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Tomorrow's my birthday. I think it'll be good. I don't feel like a failure all the time, but it's kind of just an underlying feeling this past several months. One of the things that spurred this post was my dad asking me in the car how I felt turning 18, and I said, I feel like a failure, and he said, welcome to the rest of your life. He said he spent most of his life feeling like a failure. Like there was some breaks where he didn't, but it always came back. And that was strangely encouraging. I mean, it didn't really make it feel any less crappy, but I don't know. So it spurred me because like it made me not feel alone that he said that, and I wanted to pass that on a little bit. And people are commenting, and they're being really nice. It's insane how nice people can be. It's insane how mean people can be, but sometimes it's insane how nice people can be. And yeah. Signing off for real now.